Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back at KVK Racing Network for another exciting event. Tonight we have the Sunday night Skippy with the Formula 1 and Formula 2. Great standing, so we're gonna have a quick look at that as well. But before I start with that, last time I was on my own here in the booth. This time I made some changes, and I do think we have some other people in the booth. Matt Zepka, welcome to our Sunday night Skippy Formula 2.
Thanks, Ben. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, it's great. We talked a lot about you joining us one time, but you were always busy, always driving yourself. It's great to see you over here. We are in the qualification. Maybe have a quick look. Who we see in the qualification. I'm just gonna have a quick look. We still have 4 minutes to go. It's always nice with this group of Formula 2 that we have an open qualification. Currently, Nicholas Massa is leading the club. Maybe actually this is a good segue, because we do miss one person here in our track. I'm gonna have a quick look if I have that. Let me have a quick look. Because we have something very official. And we don't do this often, but for now it was time to actually do this. Ladies and gentlemen, we from KVK Racing Network want to congratulate our racer, RJ Mckenzie. RJ Mckenzie is officially promoted to our Sunday night Skippy League Formula 1, and that's the reason why we don't see him tonight in the Formula 2 race. This is the first time that somebody receives this certificate as proof of his speed and league mentality. And we from KVK Racing Network wish RJ Mckenzie all the best, and of course be assured that we will watch him closely when we see his first steps in the Formula 1 race later. But for now, congratulations RJ Mckenzie. Official moment. So let's go back to the racing. Is there already something happening on the field?
Just qualifying's going on.
All right, qualification is going on. Let's have a quick look. We see Nicholas Matza, Greg Sharp, Rich Butler. Rich Butler on the third position. Quite a quick time.
Yeah, Peter's up in P7 too.
Yeah, Peter is really looking forward to this. It's always great to have those inside information from your teammates. But I know Peter was looking really forward to this track. One of his favorites up here. And I think that we will see him maybe even a little bit higher. Again, 23 drivers. A lot of drivers for this league. Great to see that grows every time.
Yeah, it was. I saw that when I was logging into the session. I was like, is this the most that we've had in Formula 2?
I think so. It is quite consistent since Joe Zubo has taken over in the race admin group over there. We are growing, and yeah, I love it. I like to see. I'm not sure if do you ever watch the incident reviews?
I don't watch the videos yet. I read over every single one that gets posted though.
Yeah, like exactly. And I like the time and work that they put into that. And while I say that, I see Nicholas Matza actually driving one of his fastest times over here. And have a look if we see. I don't even see any new drivers. DJ Brooks, I think number 18. It's such a name that I haven't heard much yet.
Yeah, I think DJ Brooks joined about 20 minutes ago. So he is very new. So we'll be watching him with great expectations. Great expectations,
yeah, definitely. It's going to be exciting to see what's going to happen. Have you got experience, Matt, in this track?
I've been here in person, and that's about most of the experience I've had
Oh,
on this.
nice. And where were you when this happened?
I was visiting the park. I wasn't at the form. I wasn't at
Ah,
any of the racing for it. So
well,
I recognize some of the fountain, and the aquarium and the arboretum. I recognize that, but for the track, it's just so. Yeah, I remember those bumps.
yeah, that is great to see that. I do have to say, nice weather in this Detroit. We chose a good time to actually come out. Maybe we can have a quick look if we can see the weather actually coming up. And 70 Fahrenheit. That's quite nice to start this race without.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Well, Chris, this is really nice that for you to come up here.
Yeah,
How are you doing?
yes. Sorry for the tardiness, but I'm looking very forward to this particular race. I will say Belle Isle's definitely one of the tracks that I was not a fan of at first, and I slowly learned to love it, and now it's definitely one of my favorites. It's the walls. There's just high risk, high reward moves that can be made, and with 24 drivers on the track here, it's Formula 2. Let's see if these guys can keep it clean.
Yeah, that's going to be very exciting because I do think if you hit the wall, then it's over for you. It looks a little bit like Long Beach. I've never driven up here, so for me it's a really new experience. I'm very excited. I've seen some pub races and it's dicey, or it can get dicey. I'm really curious if they can keep it clean over here as well.
Well, it looks like qualifying is starting to settle down here. Drivers finishing their laps if they were on flying lap here. I heard you talking about Nicholas Mazza. Looks like he will retain that top spot by just a little bit, 0.39 seconds. Chris Georgianellis put down a really fast time there of 1:44.18, but it's just not going to be enough. And really close intervals throughout the field on this grid.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting. If you look from 1 to 22, it's 3 seconds. That's all doable with some draft and a lot of cars will be in front of you. It can be quite exciting. We see here that Peter Lee comes on the 4th position with a 1:44.5. He's really looking forward to it. I'm going to be excited for him. Let's have a quick look. It always takes a little bit longer here in qualification to actually finish. Everybody's allowed to finish their lap. That means we still have some drivers driving around. I do have to say, Chris, you missed our official farewell to Mckenzie.
RJ, yeah.
Yes. I don't want to, but yeah, we gave him a farewell and immediately welcome to the Formula 1. So I'm very curious what we're going to see with him in Formula 1.
Yeah, I have high hopes and expectations for RJ. I'm sorry I missed that. I was really looking forward to helping you present that. But yeah, really, really well done. Obviously one of the higher honors you can get outside of a championship, obviously. But he was really the class of the field, and I think he's going to be placing very well and giving those guys in Skippy Formula 1 a run for their money.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm still a Formula 2 racer. I don't drive anymore, but I still feel like a Formula 2 racer. And I do have to say, yeah, this is like for us a little bit. He's going to represent us. So I hope for a top 15 with RJ right there. Here we see the grid is coming up. Nicholas Mazza, first position. Chris Girondellis, second position. And Carter Stickney, of course, Carter Stickney in the third position. And there we see then Peter Lee. Peter Lee, 0.6 seconds away from that top time. Very nicely done. And then we see Rusty Pontenberg. I saw him this morning. Is a proud grandfather. I'm not sure if it was this weekend, but but great to still see him having some time. I hope he may get some more grandkids, so we might get some more viewers here to see us watch him race. Ian Worrell, position number 8. Zack Snyder next to him on position number 7. We see Joe Zubo 9th, Rich Butler number 10th, and then Tyler Antley, Barry Stockdale, and let me go to the next list. We see Dan Pagowski, Chas Weber coming back, really nice 14th position. Richard Reboya, I guess. Nate Strules, Melody Chance, of course, 17th position is back here. Always is very steady. We're going to see definitely some moves from her. Greg Montgomery, Chris Guzzi, Kurt Smith, DJ Brooks, Dave Lopresti is back in up here, and then Lorne Sebastian, our oval driver, who is really eager to learn this skip and is always here, always finishes, so great to see him. And then my state member from Georgia, Justin Divin, finished the line with 24. That is our complete number list.
Quite the grid. I don't know if the Skippy Formula 2 guys keep this up. They're going to be battling Skippy Formula 1 for grid size here before too long. It's really awesome to see.
Yeah, it's great to see, and we're seeing everybody getting to line up, so always nice.
Yeah, Joe answering some last minute questions there. Joe Zubo, obviously race director here, and making sure that everybody's comfortable with where we're at. I heard you mention earlier the track temp, nice cool. That's 71 degrees Fahrenheit now, but a nice day to go racing. For people who haven't watched before, fuel limit is set at 30%, which I do believe will drive 2 total pit stops over the course of the 35-minute race. And it's just going to be something else to keep your eye on, because as we talked about earlier, you mentioned we got some oval drivers crossover, Rusty Von Berg included, Lawrence Habiston, and pits are not gimmies. It's a discipline unto itself, and you got to go in there and practice that as well in order to have a good solid finish here.
Now we see that the lights are going on, so it's getting time to get serious.
Oh,
nice.
And some people had to start from the pit.
Oh, that's going to give immediately some
9 people missed the start there. It was a really weird...
Yeah, and we see those 9 coming up now in the end of the straight, while the others are already looking into that first corner.
Well, they're just up in the difficulty level, but for the time being, at least, Nick Mazza is out in front by 0.34 seconds. They got quite a gap back to Tyler Antle.
Yeah, we do see here the first incident with that is Barry Stockdale, and whoa, we see another one coming up over there right again. Carter Stickney is dancing with his car. That has to go to the pit. Let's have a quick look at what happened first with Barry Stockdale and Melody Chance. They were coming out of that corner. And then, yeah, they do hit, and then you immediately see that everybody needs to check up over there. And I think that's Carter Stickney goes straight into someone, and that's finished with his car.
Carter went for quite a ride there.
Yeah, and that makes already big changes. We see Nicholas Matza and Chris Girondellis on the first 2 positions. And then over there, a little bit of nothing. And then Tyler Ante and Greg Sharp. What happened to Peter?
He was involved in that accident as well there. Back in turn 4, I believe it was, where everybody got stacked up. So he was at the tail end of that, and that's a pretty bad place to have an accident. Well, they're all bad places, but it's a kind of a blind corner. You come around there, you don't have much time to react to cars being in the middle of the track.
Yeah, we do see that Peter Lee is going to enter into the pit, while Lawrence Sebastian there on the last place still holds on. Or last place, 18th position. But we do see now already 4 people that have entered the pit. Peter Lee, Melody Chance, Carter Stickney, and Barry Stockdale. So that makes a huge difference. A little bit of a smaller pack. Well, we do see that Greg Sharp is taking a wide line and getting now passed by a lot of people. Actually needs to stop his car. But also
yeah, so
him...
Greg Sharp actually got loose on turn 1. And Zack Snyder basically ended up T-boning him there. So there's going to be significant damage to both of those vehicles. That's probably what you were seeing there.
All right, so we see for position number 9, big fight with Zack Snyder, Justin Devon moving up. Look, he's 14 positions up, and after him is Dave Lopresti, 11 positions up. Look at that. Those guys are really making a run for their money.
And just a quick note, if you want to go to it, fine. But otherwise, just Lauren Sabiston, Dan Pagowski, Craig Montgomery involved in an accident on, I believe, that same turn that we saw earlier in the race.
3 people involved in an accident. I want to see that part. And we do see it was a really tight Lauren Sebastian and Dan Pagowski fighting over there. And then Pagowski goes into the back, and yeah, Lauren Sebastian has difficulties to stop that car, and then Craig Montgomery is involved in there as well. And while I say that, let's go to another crash. We see Justin Devon together with Ian Worrell. Ian Worrell is trying to overtake over there.
Oh, a little piggyback ride.
Well,
it's been interesting so far.
Yeah, it's been very interesting. I'm not sure if we can follow anything. And while I say that, I do want to mention that Melody Chances one more time crashed in the back. So, all right, let's focus on a little bit of a camera work. What the?
It's a very tough track, obviously. Clearly, blind corners, and we're seeing a lot of nose-to-tail contacts. People on different, I guess we'll call them braking lines or slowing lines, and making that nose-to-tail contact. So I'm sure that'll be a good topic of discussion from the stewards there in the incident review later this week. But yeah, to your point, the closest battles that we have on track right now are Nick Mazza, Chris Georgianellis for the lead, and it looks like Mazza's able to kind of start gapping just a little bit. He's up to almost 0.8 of a second now as they come across the final turn for the start-finish line, 0.7 seconds. And then there's actually a pretty decent pack. Richard Raboha back there in 4th place, Nate Strules, Kurt Smith, and Chris Guzzi. This is all the battle for 4th position. So despite all of the craziness, the missed starts and the early race incidents, we still do have some really close racing going on. Also, newcomer DJ Brooks is up 13 spots to P8 with Zack Snyder just behind him, who was missing that front wing from that early contact there. That was Greg Sharp.
Do I have to update you that Joe Subo crashed in the back?
Oh no, Joe.
Yeah, and Joe is always from our... he's not only the admin from the Formula 2 Skippy race, but he's also making all the standings. I do want to have a quick look at the standings. We see RJ Mckenzie has that 3rd position, but that's not going to be relevant anymore. We do see that Rusty Pontenberg and Jake Ashe are actually taking over that lead. And after that is Peter Lee and Dan Pagowski. So think about that. Where is Jake Ashe?
He has been pretty quiet on the Discord. He's doing all right.
Yeah, and we do see, I love that car from Chris Girondellis. I'm not sure if that's a new one, but I didn't see it this good yet. Love that livery.
as he's making his way past some lap traffic there. I believe that is, yep, that's Joe Zubo.
Yeah, and he's not going to be the only one because there's traffic everywhere.
So that's going to be the one interesting thing. We're basically spreading the field out enough now, just based on the incidents and the missed starts, that we're going to run into that sort of lap traffic dynamic here probably a lot quicker than we would have normally, if at all. So it's a very long circuit.
Yeah, I'm going to stop mentioning the crash, but one more time. Melody is one more time crashed with Dan Pekowski, and they're going back into the pits. Let's have a look at Nate Strules. Nate Strules is working his way up into that 5th position and is fighting currently with Kurt Smith. And I think Christopher Guzzi is in there as well, with the 3 of them. Look at that.
They're really testing that commentator's curse. Kurt Smith is getting really close to the gearbox there.
Yeah, a little bit too close. He's now trying to do something else. Whoa.
That turn right there is pretty tight relative to some of the other corners on the track. Really happy they made that work there.
Yeah, and I am curious about fuel saving, because I do see that Chris Girondellis is really just going easy behind Nicholas Mazza. And is he going to do an overtake right now?
Gonna try.
Looks like it. He's going to look. Oh, that was a nice move of him. Look at that. He's really like entering him.
I wonder if he's trying to set up here. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
He's just reminding him he's there, just applying a little bit of the pressure.
Fill that those rearview mirrors up a little bit. Yeah, again, a good exit out of 6. That turn that right-hander they just came out of is super important, because you can see this is one of the longer straights there on the course. And I'm sure this draft, I haven't raced this in a Skippy in quite a while, but I'm sure the draft
and then look at the group behind there is Nate Strules, Kurt Smith, Christopher Guzzi, and I think DJ Brooks has now... Oh no, he's a little bit further behind, but look at these 2 here.
Oh! Kurt's going to make contact there just barely with Nate Strules. He'll back it out. Looks like they will survive.
They will survive. I don't know how, but they survived.
It's not a common saying on a street circuit in a Skippy.
It's amazing to me how different all of these drivers' breakpoints are. You just see a lot of closure going into some of these turns.
Yeah, we do see that Kurt Smith is now getting again really close. Is he going to make that move? Over there, he's going to make it. He's going to do a try on the inside.
He will be on the inside for this turn 1.
Oh, that's Nate Strules, isn't it? That's Nate Strules. Look at that.
Oh,
Kurt
Smith, yeah, just making the move there on Richard.
And here we see DJ Brooks, 12 positions up on the 19th, fighting with Rusty Pontenberg. And currently Rusty is taking the lead over there. See if he can come back. We also see Rich Butler right behind there. And then come Chess Weber and Peter Lee. Peter is really on his own with that first incident. Hurt him badly. All right, let's go back to the front. Nicholas Massa, when are they going to pit? You guys any idea?
I don't know. Craig Montgomery is in. I wonder. Yeah, it looks like a normal pit stop. I wonder if that's his. If this is the opening of that window. Matt, do you shed any light on that?
I mean, just going off of the 35-minute race, like the third is about 12, 13 minutes in. So I think between now and maybe like 20 minutes, we'll be seeing everyone pit at least once. So the pit window should be open, theoretically.
There you go, Tyler Antleherd, yeah, and he's going to be scooting down pit road. Same thing with Richard Raboha, Christopher Guzzi. So quite a few takers, but the leaders 1 through 4 still maintaining their position out on the track.
Yeah, look at that. Kurt Smith 16 positions up. But also that counts for GJ Brooks, and Rich Butler is 4 positions up. Nate Strules 13 positions up. Those guys really make the move. And up here also, look at this. Nice racing, too wide going through that corner. Nate Strules really has to work hard for that 3rd position.
Yeah, Rich Butler making the move just a little further back there for 5th position.
I'm curious what Nicholas Matza is going to do now. He's they're right behind this driver, and oh, nearly a hit, but really well done. I think from Dempagowski giving room over there, and that means if Nicholas Matza, if you have the chance, then you need to go in right now, because Chris Girondellis is well. Thank you, Dempagowski, for not doing that in front of us. Oh, that was Lawrence Sebastian actually. Lawrence Sebastian crashed right in the back over there. But I'm curious if Nicholas Massa is going in right now. He needs to. Yeah, he needs to go in.
Yeah, I think he was communicating there to Chris that they were going in. So Chris will follow him in. That leaves Nate Strules. See what he and Kurt Smith do. Go down pit road as well. So Rich Butler pit on lap 1 must have been one of those... not sure what that was about.
Well, we have seen weirder things in this race, so
that's
I'm
true.
Not
Okay, no, he will be going in
anymore.
There we go. I thought maybe that was could have been a really interesting pit strategy, but no, he will
if
be
it
coming
was
down
Jake, then I would have said so. But we see Nicholas Matza already going out, and I do think let's have a quick look at the timings in the pit. Always interesting to see that. They have exactly the same 0.2 seconds for Nicholas Matza, so...
Which is very intriguing, because Mazda was able to pull out a 1.6 second gap there.
Yeah, he's really...
Not something you'd expect
and I'm
to see.
curious, I'm curious if Chris Girondellis is now a little bit lost, because he doesn't have that draft anymore and needs to work for it right now. I'm curious if he comes back. Then we see the real Chris Girondellis, I think.
Of note on those pit stops, Kurt Smith was significantly, well, maybe not significantly, but a couple 2 to 3 seconds quicker in the pit lane than the rest of the field. So clearly on a different fuel type of strategy. Whenever you see that, you always think, well, did he grab enough fuel, or...
Yeah, we're seeing here Christopher Guzzi driving on that 7th position. Is a little bit behind there is Zach Snyder, 8th position. They're a little bit in no man's land. Just need to hot lap and make sure that you get in front of Rusty Pontenberg, because he's on the 9th position, and straight behind there is Rich Butler with that shark of him. But I think currently the biggest fight is with Richard Raboya, trying to see if he can catch up with Nate Strules.
Yeah, these tires are getting nice and warmed up, and drivers are able to kind of throw the cars around a little bit more sure-footed. And early on when the tires are cold, some of those turns can be very, very difficult, especially some of those supers. Now that they have a little more confidence the car will stick, I think we'll see some more bold moves out of some of these guys.
Well, we do see that Rich Butler now is really getting onto the back of Rusty Pontenberg. Curious if they are going to make a move.
I think Chris Girondellis might have hit the wall a little bit, so he may have taken some damage. So let's see if Tyler can close the gap for P2.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't see any damage on Chris. And it also looks like he's actually catching up a little bit. It's 1/10 but per lap. But he's at least not slowing it down for this. But I've seen it before, where people lose their wings and are suddenly quicker on the track, so it doesn't surprise me.
Another good battle, by the way, for 16th spot. You got Dave Lopresti, who's up 6 spots there in P16. And Ian Worrell's been kind of hunting and pecking around there to move around, and then Dave would kind of scoot back out into the lead for a little bit, and then Ian would come back.
And that's always the things that you want to see in here.
Oh, and Dave Lopresti's going to lock it up.
Well, that was definitely the pressure of Ian Worrell on the 16th position, and he needs to step... wow, that was a big crash from Dave Lopresti.
Well, that's exactly what we're talking about. Just this track in general is not forgiving at all. Those are not safer barriers. Those are going to mess your car up if you smoke a tire. There's no runoff area. There's none of that. So,
well,
unfortunately,
someone who's not forgiving is Chris Girondellis. Look at this. He actually is gaining on Nicholas Mazza, and he's nearly back into that draft. That is going to be very interesting to see with another pit stop that we have. Now we're 90 minutes into this race of a 35-minute race. So basically everything still to play for. I do have to say I'm happy to see that there are less crashes going on the moment. Everybody has settled, those tires are warm.
yeah, and honestly, it's very surprising to me after all the wackiness that started this race off. There's 17 drivers. 17 drivers still in the lead lap. About to be 16.
Yeah, that's amazing. We do have a look here at Rich Butler. Is going to go very, very close to Rusty Pontenberg. And that is already for the top 10, for the 9th position actually. But Rich has been very quiet. He's been driving around Rusty for quite a while now.
Yeah, just kind of, he's started 10th. He's running in 10th. Hopefully he can finish with the top 10.
Hey, if I would see those first laps, I would be happy with the top 10. And I think Peter Lee actually thinks the same way about that. He was very happy to drive this race, but would love to hear his comments on in the first in our S Formula 1. But he's now driving here on that 13th position. It's important for the points that you still drive. Learned that myself in the league. Doesn't matter if you have an incident or anything like that. You need to continue because the season is long. And that's what Peter does right over here on that 13th position.
Season is long, the race is long. You just never know what's going to happen. If somebody ahead of you in the standings may just have a little ounce of bad luck and be right back in it.
Another person that we haven't seen much is Kurt Smith, 4th position now, a little bit on his own as well. 5 seconds from Tyler Ante on the 3rd position. I always like it when people use chrome in their car, makes our broadcast look shiny. And he does an excellent job on that. But what about Tyler Ante? Look at that, 3rd position. I didn't know he had that much speed in up here.
Yeah, he's up 8 spots into the final podium spot right now, and he's got a solid 5-second lead over Kurt.
Yeah, it's also not that we have like pit stops. They all have done equal pit stops. So it is really, this is the things that we see right now are the reality. Nicholas Mazza 1.6 seconds away from Chris Girondellis. Those two are holding each other really very strongly together.
Peter Lee is starting to put the pressure on DJ Brooks.
Oh wow, he closed that gap real quick, huh? That was very impressive.
think he started. He's got in the zone. He qualified P4, so he's definitely faster on here.
Look at that. He is going really close by. Oh, he hits the wall.
A little too much.
All right, don't tell Peter he was on the broadcast. Nobody saw that. But he can continue. Look at that. He can continue.
His car is just a couple inches less wide than it was.
Ooh.
He is really pushing that car to its limit, isn't he?
And he continues pushing that car. Look at that. He wants to come into that top 10, and if he wants to do that, he needs to go past DJ Brooks, who is holding on also quite strong, I have to say. Nice to see his defending moves over here. And think that Peter is going to make a move sooner or later.
Newcomer, by the way, we mentioned that earlier. DJ up 10 spots there to P11, so really good showing for him in his first race.
Yeah, and Peter can't get any closer. And we know Peter is a very safe driver, but I do see some aggression coming up. He's just waiting till him make a move. I do want to mention Kurt Smith is into the pit.
As is Chris Guzzi.
Wow.
It's like DJ Brooks and Peter Lee are going to be going into pit this time by as well. They're just communicating.
I wouldn't have done that if I was Peter.
Yeah, I wonder if he's out of fuel because, like, if you're noticeably faster than the person in front of you, which it looks like Peter is, then maybe there's benefit to not staying behind them and getting the time difference while they're in the pits.
Definitely, that was also my point. But I think Peter, it is running his race, and we still have 11 more minutes while we're looking at Chris Girondellis, who is maintaining the distance between Nicholas Massa. He is driving a little bit away from Tyler Anthony, but he's not closing the gap with Nicholas. Maybe it's tactic.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
All right, let's have a quick look what happened to Ian Worrell. Was driving there onto the straight, and we see someone driving in front of him losing a wheel. That's not going to be the contact. Yeah. That is going to be the contact. Look at that. He didn't see that happening. I would love to see that one more time.
Yeah, David Presti, he got involved in an earlier incident. If you scroll back just a little bit, and
so he suddenly loses that wheel, and then has to take that corner. He is trying to do that, and Ian Worrell didn't see that one coming. All right, Nicholas Massa still on that first position. 1.3 seconds away from Chris Girondellis. Does a really good job on the moment to get back. Funny to see there some couple places where Chris is definitely faster. But also a couple of them where Nicholas is outstandingly fast. You see basically the whole mid-pack going in. Rusty Pontenberg is on the pit exit. Richard Riboya. So it's got to be time for Nicholas Mazza to do something.
Yeah, 28-second gap back to Rich Butler, who's your leader of the two pit stop crew, if you will. So Rich Butler, in really good position here. Holy cow. Oh, you know what? Rich Butler's probably going to have to pit again, because that's probably counting his lap one stop.
Oh. All right, goodbye, Rich. We're not going to see you anymore. We're going to go back to Rich Girondellis, because I expect that they have to go in one more time. Those first three still haven't pitted, and they keep continuing.
Some of these corners, we haven't been mentioning them on the broadcast, but quite a few drivers here. Turn 3 just giving them fits. Saw some folks locking it up, some people just going straight. Maybe it was potentially to avoid or get out of the way of the traffic behind them, but turn 3 That
That was an
right-hander there.
amazing move from David Lepresi. If you see that in the replay, he saw it a little bit late that people were coming, and suddenly he crossed all the way over. But did that really, really well. I always like that that kind of moves where people think about the whole race and not just your race. As a blue flagger, you need to be involved in that. Tyler Ante coming around this corner really quick. Number 3 right now, and also steady number 3. Because he has done 2 pit stops. Does he need to go in one more time?
I don't believe so. 36 seconds. Yeah. I'm going to say no. I don't think he was involved in any of that early race shenanigans.
No, I don't see anything either as well. So Tyler Ante is having a really quick time. 36 seconds behind the 2 leaders, but the 2 leaders are gonna fight soon because Chris Girondellis says, hello, Nicholas Massa, I am here, and look at that. While they overtake some back markers. And there goes Nicholas Massa in, and that means that Chris Girondellis is going as well. Let's see if he can actually gain something. Doesn't seem to gain much, but also doesn't lose much. But it is all to play for when they actually go out. This is always that horrible moment, I think. Well, Matt, how do you do that with pit stops? Getting the right moment to stop.
The way that I did it was I would set up like how early can I pit and how late can I pit, and then kind of play it by ear. If I was in traffic or around other people, like run the pit window opened, I would go in for the pit, you know, and I like to be in fresh air, so I kind of get myself into space. I think Jake Ashe does the same. But if I was already kind of alone and had some space, you know, it was just me and one other person, I could draft off of them, then maybe I'll like wait and hold off and pit as late as I can.
Well, we do see that Chris Girondellis didn't make any time up. He's still 1.6 seconds behind Nicholas Massa, and I think actually Nicholas Massa was earlier out of the pit. We do see that Tyler Ante has reduced that 35-second move now to only 6 seconds, or nearly 7 seconds. So maybe there is still some time. We have 6 more minutes to play for.
We have a 4-way battle for P5 right now.
Oh, look at that. The 3-way going into that corner. That's an amazing move. And also nice backing off of, I think that was Zack Snyder, who was the wisest in that decision. Look at that. Even Rusty Pontenberg is involved in that. Is now currently the number 10, but can actually come up to position number 6 if he does it well. And here they come through that chicane over there. Man, that is close with the 4 of them, and Rusty Pontenberg is now really joining them, and this is a battle for the position number 6. Oh, they hit. Oh yeah, let's make it 3 wide again.
Oh, Rusty with a nice little maneuver. You're gonna squeeze it in there, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, look at this, and Rusty doesn't get hit. Rusty, Christopher Goosey got hit over there by Zack Snyder, and Joe Zuba was there involved as well. Maybe let's have a quick look how that actually evolved. It was first that little hit, and then they came all together over there. And it was Rusty Pontenberg with the luck that he had that he came out of that. Man, that was a quick move.
Rusty is not done.
No, Rusty is now looking on the inside of Richard Raboya, I think. No, that's...
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, made the pass there for 7.
I do have to say, there has been some crashes in the background. I think this is the most crashes I've ever seen in a Formula 2 race.
it's.
And what do you think then about the Formula One, where the competitive is even higher? I think, you know, the group is even closer to each other, so it's going to be even tighter in every corner.
Well, yeah, not to mention presumably a few more skippies there on the track. So this is probably a harbinger of things to come. And yeah, it's the nature of this track. It's just like we've been talking about, not a lot of room for error, and clearly different drivers have different ways to get around the course, and it's leading to a lot of nose to tail contacts. Once that happens, it's the first domino falls. There's not a lot of room to escape anywhere.
No, you're absolutely right. And we're looking here at Chris Girondellis. He's been playing it safe the whole time already on that second position, which is awesome. Huh? I would sign for that in the beginning of the race. But now he's so close to Nicolas Mazza, and he can cement it. It will be so nice, but it is going to be very close. So we have only 2 more minutes. There's going to be 1 or 2 more laps, and then we are over with this race.
Hey, blink and you missed the race there. Holy cow.
You do see that Chris Girondellis is pushing a little bit more, going over the curbs over there. Trying to see if he can gain some time, but Nicolas Mazza looks very, very solid, I have to say. How's Rusty Pontenberg doing? Is he going to catch up with Rich Butler?
Well, he's been making some good ground here. He's green on every single sector relative to Rich Butler. So I guess it's just a matter of time, literally, to see when Mazza's coming across the start-finish line here. So this will be the white flag lap. Everybody will get one more shot at it.
Yeah, and this is the time that Chris Girondelli then needs to use to actually catch up with Nicolas Mazza, but I don't think that is going to happen. I think Nicolas Mazza just won this race by sheer speed that he has over here.
And these guys are running nearly identical lap times this entire race. And, yeah, it's very tough. Got to be very frustrating for Chris. Probably putting his heart and soul into it, and you can see now the gap even increasing.
And look at this, Rusty Pontenberg set a 1:43 in this last lap, so he is really pushing, Matt. You're right.
Purple lap.
In the last round, I don't see that many times happening. It is possible, but Rusty is really pushing it to the limit to actually catch up with Rich Butler for that 6th position. And he is now into the draft, so that could make it interesting. Let's make sure we don't forget about Nicolas Mazza, who is in that last round. Solid the whole time. And Chris has definitely given up. He loses now 2.5 seconds behind Nicolas. So that is a run that has been given. Kurt Smith, 4th position. Really great. 16 positions up. He is really our hard charger for this moment.
Mazza's going to take the last sweeper there and come across the start-finish line in first place. If he can make that cleanly, he does. Congratulations to Nick Mazza on the win.
That is a really nice job. Chris Girondellis right behind there. Then we have to wait a little bit for Tyler Anthony. Kurt Smith, really, yes, he gets over in there. And we see then Nate Struls has won that fight over there from Rich Butler. Rich Butler has won the fight. Or did he won the fight from Rusty Pontenberg? I am curious, where are those guys?
They're just crossing now, Rich Butler. There's Rusty. Just did not have quite enough. One more battle brewing here, Chris Guzzi and Chaz Weber. But also probably Chaz just running out of time there.
And look at that, Christopher Guzzi just in front of Chaz Weber. And then we should wait here for Peter Lee. Great to see him also finish. And that is basically the whole group. Zach Schneider comes in. I think we have to wait for DJ Brooks to really see everybody going on. And then, Chris, while you were away, the Formula 2 has started a new tradition. Have you heard about it?
No, tell me all about it.
All right. Well, remember that we used to do this parade laps in Formula 2?
Absolutely, is one of my favorite parts.
Exactly. Well, they liked it that much that they actually are doing that again. I'm not sure if everybody is following it, but I always think that that's like a great thing to see. That
Yeah, I'm really curious about the post race discussions here. This kind of reminds me of a Bristol, if you're an Oval fan. No love lost here between drivers. A lot of contact. Hopefully, though, everybody understands it's in good fun and good competition.
Yeah, I would have said, if you would have asked me, I would have definitely said over, Chris. Maybe that's the inside joke.
This would have been an over. Yeah.
Yeah. This is
for sure.
This is a prime. In order to finish first you must finish type of track.
Yeah. No, agreed. That's survival type track. But either way,
it's great. It's great, and it's great to see these guys race every time. And hopefully we will see another RJ Mckenzie and somebody who also will get that certificate, because I think that's all our race for, to get up to the highest level, and that's definitely helping over here. I always love the race reviews to see what we can learn from each other and how we can race better. There's definitely some pointers in this race. I want to bet you.
Yeah, and like Matt, it's good reading, even if you're didn't participate in that race. It's just some really great discussion and making you better. Just being able to see circumstances that you probably see if you're just doing public races too. So,
no, definitely. I want to thank everybody for watching, but don't hold it. We're not finished yet, because we still have a whole race for Formula 1 to go. So while these guys are doing a nice parade, we're gonna take a small little break, and we're gonna have a quick look how to see how we get to Formula 1. And then we have an exciting race. Is it gonna be Decker, or is Oktarov still gonna take that lead? Let's see that right after the break.
Welcome to Detroit, Michigan, USA, where we have one of the more dangerous looking tracks, Belle Isle. Today we have a number of people in the booth. If you can go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Well, that's
Hey,
very nice.
Yeah, let's do
Can you
it.
record
Let's
that?
do it. Hey, man, Chris Morrell's here in the house. Really looking forward to this race after a very exciting SF2. If you didn't catch that, go back and watch that. And we've got quite a few more drivers here on the grid in a very precarious track, like Chris said. And I'm here for it, man. The beautiful weather conditions, and let's go racing.
And this is Peter Lee. I just raced with a couple of the other guys in the booth, and it is such a wonderful track. And Detroit has a special place in my heart because that's where my wife was born.
Oh, cool. Hi, this is Ian Worrell. I was not born in Detroit. But it just come off a SF2 race, which was, as he says, very eventful. If you haven't seen it, go watch it, or watch it after this one. Great to be back in the booth with all these guys. It sounds like we've got a phenomenal race coming up. Can't wait.
Yeah, I do have to say I'm a little bit scared. This is Pim. I'm not going to say that much because I'm just going to look how much things we can see. I'm very, very curious, especially after that exciting race of Formula 2. So yeah, that's my job.
Yeah, so how did the race look from your perspective?
Very interesting. I saw in the beginning a lot of crashes, and it was really hard to actually cover that all. But we also saw a lot of clean racing. So it's a difficult track. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, there was an issue with the startup. Some people didn't get in and had to start from the pits, so that caused a lot of confusion. And then, of course, the crashes, because it feels like you're going through the Death Star trench when you're racing here, because the walls just keep closing in and it gets slow. You know, more cars try to squeeze through smaller and smaller spaces, and it can be pretty hairy.
Hey, Chris, can I register an objection to ever talking about that race start ever again?
Which one? Oh, yeah, I've got a solution. All you have to do is just say, okay, everybody grid up, here we go. And then, because I think a lot of people were just looking at the clock, and like, well, you know, when you normally do in the public races, you can wait until it goes down to 1 or 2 seconds, but it had 10 minutes on there, so I think a lot of people didn't realize that once he presses the button, you got to be in already.
Well, that's a thing. There's a lot of positive things to have a new race leader, and that's one of the negative things. You still need to learn a couple of things, but that will work out. I think it wasn't that much delay because in the first corner there were so many crashes that you could catch up quite easily. Currently, we're looking at the Formula 1. I do want to make sure that we look at the standings. We have a big list that we always get from Joe Zubo. Currently, we do have a new leader. We're in week 3. We thought we're never going to see it happen, but we did see it happen with Leo Oktarov at that terrible incident in turn 1 in America. And that's why he is now on the 2nd position, and Jeffrey Decker is actually on the 1st position, 140 points. So it is basically nothing. Everything's still a lot to play for. But I think especially the fight behind there with Carl Dronke, Michael Hoaunik, Scott Bell, Sammy Bridges, Chris Stewart, Philip Chete, Steve Durr. Like so many people that I didn't expect in the top 10. We see some people in the back that I did expect over here. Max Di Giacomo, always in the top 10. So I'm very curious what we're going to see. Has anybody seen some practice of these guys? What do we expect? Who do we see on going to be on top?
Well, during the weekly races, Leo was absolutely flying, and I would pick him as the favorite on this track.
As he done many times, so that is yeah, no expectations, but I do think that Jeffrey Decker is currently also really fast. I'm looking right now. Let's have a quick look if we is the time already over?
Yeah, I think what's really cool is seeing Pete Mobrotten, Michael Hoaunik, and Jason Bice qualifying in P3, 4, and 5. And, you know, they are really well within, they were just about half a second or less from Jeffrey Decker and Leo Ovtcharov. And so I think that top 5, might as well throw Philippe Jeté in there as well, and Mike Bowers. They are just all in the 142s with their qualifying pace. And, that could get very, very exciting, especially in the first couple of laps.
And this is not
That's
an
tough.
easy.
I just looking at the names, I don't know where I would draw that line for where you stop saying that they're a legit threat to win the race. But yeah, there's a little bit of a gap there between Mike Bowers and Carl Dronke, at least for the qualifying pace. And as we saw in Skippy Formula 2, I think Matt said it best. In order to finish first, you must first finish. And he said this was the track that exemplifies that, and I agree.
Yeah, it's a very hard track to overtake at as well. So pit strategy is going to be huge in this race. Making sure that you maximize that to your benefit, I think, is going to be the big thing. And then, of course, staying out of the walls.
Yeah, turn 6 I think is real key here, because if you get a great exit out of turn 6, it becomes a great opportunity to overtake at turn 7. Otherwise, there isn't very many places other than turn 3 to make that overtake. And so people are going to take chances on that turn 6, and some people could make their mistakes there, whether they lose time or whether they actually hit the wall and have problems.
I think that's exactly right. And, one of the things that happens is you might just tap a wall and maybe, bend a wing, get your front wheels a little bit out of alignment. And that might cost you maybe 0.3 of a second per lap. And you'll have to think strategically, should I pit and get this repaired, or should I power through this? And so I think, a lot of these drivers will have to be thinking about stuff like that.
Or what could happen is what happened to me, where I was tailing a guy and he touched the wall, and then I bumped into him and I lost a couple places. So.
Hey guys, I do want to mention RJ Mckenzie, 17th position. Look at that. That's the reason why he qualified really well. Nice to see that.
Yeah, he was terrific in Formula 2, and I hope to see him climb the charts here in Formula 1.
Definitely be giving these guys some fits here. We are gridding, by the way, so we're getting ready to go.
What's that about?
Oh, gridding? You guys don't do that? No.
It's a new rule. Just started.
There you go. We will, I'm looking forward to this race. We've got 34 drivers on the grid, and they're all going to be going on cold tires down there into, especially keep your eyes on turn 3 there as Barney's about to wave the green flag.
And he is actually quite a little bit late, but
yeah,
going. Actually,
they went before the green flag.
Yeah, Jeffrey Decker is holding it in. They did went on the lights. We see it looks all very clean. Going too wide into that corner. Look at this! What many cars we see coming up over here. Look at this!
Pete Mobrat.
Oh, Pete Mobrat is overtaking over there. He
It
is
looked like
go
he was
for that
going
second
for
spot.
it, and then he
Awesome
decided
move.
not to, and then he decided to do it again.
What a great camera view.
Oh, it does look like Andrew Cole had an incident in turn 3. His rear wing, I think, got clipped in a nose-to-tail contact, and he's in the middle of a tow back to the pits.
Yeah, so we do see now Jeffrey Decker, Pete Mobrat, Leo Ovtcharov, Michael Houwenik, but also Jason Bice is back. Old-timer who can't forget that Skippy is on the 5th position right now. Philippe Jeté is in front of him. Really looks like the top 18. Nobody moved except Pete Mobrat and Leo Ovtcharov.
And Mike Bowers in 7th. I'm surprised Mike's so far back. Usually he's a bit further up in the mix. The whole pack, apart from 29, is really sticking together.
The 4th place person just hit the wall and lost the position.
Looks like Leo's going to be looking to the inside of Pete, try to take that spot back.
And Mike Bowers is really caught up behind Philippe Jete, as there's some braking going on. And Bowers is up a place over Jete. And Carl Dronke this is letting the front three get away.
Oh, guys, bad news for RJ Mckenzie. He has been crashed. Let's have a quick look what exactly happened, because this is our guy. What's going on the inside over there? And, oh, he just completely missed it and hit Steve Durr over there. I do think that was some issue with his car. That looked a little bit weird.
Completely missed the braking zone there.
Yeah,
100%
it's like,
sure.
okay. wait, isn't this a parking lot?
All right, that certificate doesn't mean anything in that way. But we do see that Pete Broughton, Leo Octarov, and Jeffrey Decker are running away. Look at that. Great to see Pete Broughton having to have so much speed on this track.
And let's start looking at these lap times, because, I mean, they're already, well, they're still pretty high at the moment, but I'm sure we're going to see them dropping way below this 152 that they're at the moment. And there we go, 148, 144 for Aaron Lau, 143.
In P21, Gurkan Demir is on the move. He's just made a pass in the back part of the course over Steve Durr to take over P21, and he's trying to run away now. And right behind them, it looks like Kyle Reed is trying to make a move on Charlie McCarty for P23.
Yeah, and I do think that he was missing the sign.
They're coming 3 wide into turn 3. And they squeeze through.
It's like Charlie backed up just a little bit there. Smart racing.
And soon the front runners are going to come up upon car 28, and even with the blue flag rules to let them by, this is, again, it's not an easy track to let people pass you.
No, we do look here for number 10, Max DiGiacomo is fighting with Aaron Lan, John Dancy, Joshua Dancy. Man, these guys are making it really tight over here.
Well, I mean, you look at the track map, and I mean, all these cars are still pretty close together. I mean, you've got just 2 packs, right? You got everybody all the way down to P17, and then you've got P17 back.
Back in the battle for P23, I don't know if there's an issue with Steve Durr, but it's looking like Kyle Reed has serious pace on him, but is having trouble getting around. He's coming side by side now. Exceptionally dangerous. Oh, and they touch, and Steve Durr has crashed into the wall.
Oh, wow. And I actually missed that because I saw a crash behind there. I saw Rich Butler crashing. And we see that right now. Steven Durr, goes raw.
That's going to collect. Joseph Noah, Charlie McCarty as well. Jonathan Dockery involved.
Jonathan Dockery, look at that.
Meanwhile,
there's nothing he could do.
Back up front, there's just an epic battle involving Jeffrey Decker, Leo Octarov, and Pete Broughton. And I think that they are just so close together.
And it's a good battle also with Snavely Belle and Aaron Law for 13th, 12th, and 11th.
Leo was able to make the overtake there going into turn 3. That seems to be like it's going to be a popular place to try and pass tonight.
Yep, and they're dropping Jason. He's now 2 seconds back off of Pete.
And we see here Scott Bell jumping that corner, really trying to be in front of Jeff Snavely.
I want to know what it's like in Scott Bell's motion rig right now. This track, how bumpy it is.
It is so bumpy.
That's got to be rocking and rolling.
We need to get a way of pulling a video from him and just having his face in there bouncing around.
I think he has to use high tensile strength chains to strap his VR headset on.
The times are tumbling. Leo's down to a 1:42.93.
The Leo is actually in the first position. Did we miss that? Did we actually miss his overtake over there? But maybe we should wait, because we do see that Jeffrey Decker's now trying to make a move. Maybe Chris, you can update us?
I don't have the telemetry.
Carl Dronke just makes a move down the inside of Hounik to get P6 after setting the fastest lap time of a 1:42.35.
I think Brian Perez has had an issue. I think he touched the wall, and so Gergen Demir and Kyle Reed have managed to pass him to take P20 and P21. And so I'm guessing that Brian Perez probably bent a wing or a wheel and is doing the best he can to get back to the pits.
Joseph Noah's jumped to the pits. But of course now is going to be thinking about fueling again now, guys, right?
Yeah, I think the first refueling window is probably open, Ian, and so for someone who maybe has been struggling with a bent car, this is a great chance to get some repair and refuel.
And then going back to Steve Dewar's accident, don't forget he got hit previously by who was it that hit him? RJ hit him, and so maybe he was carrying damage and was just trying to get around back to the pits, and then that's why he was going so slow before he got hit again, or before he, yeah.
Hey, real quick, Tim, we're getting word that the overlay is frozen on the stream here, so.
Oh.
Quick reset, or what?
Yeah,
But
I'll have a look.
good feedback from our loyal viewers. Thank you very much, guys.
He does stream on Twitch. Yeah, we'll have to see if we can find a way of putting Steve Belle into the spotlight a little bit here.
Back when we did the inlays there, he was one of the drivers gracious enough to give his feed, and it is pretty interesting to see.
Yeah.
Also makes me very jealous.
Yeah. Well, there is that for sure.
Tim, a driver on the move is Sammy Bridges. He's now worked his way up to P18, up 5 spots from where he qualified, and has just gotten past Jeff Torbeck, and trying to chase down JR Hoops, who's in P17 ahead of him.
Still no telemetry on the stream.
Another driver just behind him, by the way, Kyle Reed, making some good lap times. Actually, about a second quicker there than Sammy even. So, see if the neon Miami Vice car here can get up to Sammy. And
Yeah, Kyle is absolutely on the move. He's up 11 spots from where he started, running P20 right now. I think Gerken Demir has been on the move too, up 7 spots, but having a hard time keeping up with Kyle.
So guys, how's the fight in the front? With
Very
Leo
good, man.
Karloff, still leading.
yeah, Jeffrey Decker is not letting Leo out of his sight. I think he realizes that if he gives Leo an inch, he'll take a mile. So he's trying to stay glued to that gearbox.
Hey, Pim, for the battle for P9, Max DiGiacomo and Aaron Law, they're going down the back straight. I wonder if this is going to give Aaron Law a chance for a good run on Max. He's really closed the gap.
We also have a great battle for P5, P4. There's a train going there.
It does look like Aaron's going on the inside, trying to get into the fountain section, side by side with Max.
And the front runners are now running up against some back markers, and they've just luckily got a good place where he can get out of the way and let them all through. But oh my gosh, if it was a few seconds either earlier or later, it would have made it a little bit more interesting for the guys.
Are we making your head spin, Pim?
No, not at all. I think this goes quite fine. There is just a lot of things going on. I have to say, I'm curious about Jason Bice with Carl Dronke there. Mike Bowers, Michael Haunick, and I think Philippe Cheté, if he's lucky, he can hold on to there as well.
Well, something happened to Michael Haunick. He was right on the bumper of Mike Bowers and putting up really good times, and then all of a sudden he dropped down about a half a second, and that's allowing Cheté.
And Dronke has just passed Jason Bice, and Carl is up into fourth.
Meanwhile, that battle for P9 has gotten even more complicated with Joshua Dancy having caught up along with Scott Bell and Chris Stewart. I think the battle between Max DiGiacomo and Aaron Law has slowed them down a little bit and allowed Dancy, Bell, and Stewart to catch up. And so now as they go to the back straight, that's a train of 5.
Watch for sure.
Looks like Andrew Cole's crashed. There's so much to look at, you just don't know what to talk about.
Well, I'm continuing to watch this battle for P9, and that battle is slowing down the train enough that now it's also allowing Jeff Snavely, Mark Rayner, and Thomas Fotos to catch up. And so it's now become a train of 8 cars.
As Decker sets the fastest time of the race, 1:41.832, and Scott Bell is into the pits. I think he's the first runner. Oh, along with, Snavely and Fotos, all in the pit lane.
And part of the strategy there is they might have felt like they were being held up a little bit. Oh, down the front straight, it looks like Aaron Law is making the move, going to T3 around Max DiGiacomo and cleanly making the pass into T3.
Is Leo in here as well? Oh, it's Leo.
Mike Bowers passed Jason Bice.
Yeah, you've been doing some great side-by-side racing there for P5 and Michael Haunick. Basically, Mike Bowers passing Jason Bice opened the door there for Haunick to get by as well.
Decker is right on the tail of Leo and is forcing him to make a lot of defensive maneuvers, which is no doubt slowing him down.
And they're coming up against another back marker. And luckily they've got the front straight coming up that they can use, the back marker can use to get out of the way. And Leo's jumping into the pits and Decker is continuing on.
We'll have some company with Mo Broughton, Bowers, and Bice down the road.
So this is normal for Decker. He normally doesn't follow them in. He normally tries to keep going. Back marker gets out of the way nicely for him. Leo's on his way out of the pit. Pete's on his way out of the pit. The front runners are all back out, coming out in what, 10, 11, 12, and 13th. Looks like Mike Bowers passed Jason in the pits.
He's got almost 2-second lead doing that.
Yeah. So I wonder what it was, although he makes a mistake going into turn 2.
Bad
Turn
wheel
3,
nut.
sorry. Bad wheel nut. There you go.
Yeah, I wonder if that happened to me because I was within 1 second in the last race. I came out over 2 seconds. I was like, what happened? Pit crew.
Pit crew.
And
Jason's
track-
rear right tire looks extremely wobbly. I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe it's just a glitch.
Yeah, no, that's just the track. Don't worry.
No, look at
Well,
it.
Jeffrey Deck.
Do a chase on Jason Bice's car and look at his rear right tire.
Yeah, for me, it looks a little bit fine.
Okay.
Remainder of the leaders are coming down pit road here, all the way through Chris Stewart, Mark Rayner, and we'll see if Sammy Bridges follows suit. Yes. So this should cycle everybody through their first pit stop.
So where is Leo? Is Leo gonna take that undercut, and is he gonna take the lead?
He is
Here he
crossing the
comes.
start-finish line. Jeffrey Decker is calling the pit out.
Leo gets it.
Yeah, and he's going to have the momentum there. Decker's still got to accelerate.
And Jason's tire seems to have fixed itself. As he's now slotting in behind Howanek, who got in front of him.
Yeah, this is one of the awkward things about this track, which is so wonderful, but the pit out is really right in a dangerous spot for
Sure
turn
is.
2. Yep.
Especially if somebody's losing a little bit of control, needs that space, you can be in an unfortunate accident, and you want to be able to cut in on that turn if you can.
Yeah.
So how is it with that battle for position number 12 with Scott Bell and Jeff Snavely? They're fighting quite hard, I think.
Just checking that out. These guys really nose to tail here. Jeff, he looks like he has a run anyway, but not taking full advantage of that draft. Poking his nose out.
Got a nice exit out of the corner.
The braking at the end of that long back straight is just so awkward in these cars. You know, the ground seems to slope away a little bit towards the side, and it just forces you to be so careful and delicate with both throttle and brake.
There's more than just a downslope. There seems to be a major imperfection as you hit that apex. Right before the apex, it feels like your tire just drops off a couple inches.
Yeah.
Looks like Gherkin Demir is starting to close in on Kyle Reed for P20.
And right in front of them, Jeff Torbeck and JR Hoops and Sammy Bridges, but I think Sammy Bridges went into the pits. Have been battling for P17 or working together in P17. In blanket range of each other, one would say.
And Jason Bice is ready to make a bump here.
Yeah, I'm watching Jason Bice try to hunt down Michael Howanek, and he's just looking for an opportunity, any kind of bobble here for an attempt at a pass.
He
Sticking
has
his
an
nose in,
opportunity
just
here.
making sure he's large in Michael's rearview mirrors.
That turn 6 exit, that's going to help him here.
They had to back out though because Howanek's gearbox suddenly loomed large.
That fountain section where they just went through is one of the most fun parts of the course for me. It's you're just not really full throttle, but still maintaining a ton of momentum and really steering with the throttle all the way around that fountain.
And don't look now, but Jeffrey Decker is slowly but surely getting himself right back to Leo's gearbox. He's making some time little by little.
And Jason is still working on the back of Howanek. I'm sure he's wishing that Howanek didn't have that draft from Mike Bowers ahead. Getting ever closer though.
In the past lap or two, Jeffrey Decker's made up about a half a second. Mark Rayner has passed Thomas Photos. J.R. Hoops and Jeff Torbuck are right on top of each other.
And Howenick's just passed Mike Bowers, under braking into your favorite section there with the fountain.
You know, that takes a lot of courage. I'm continuing to keep an eye on this battle for P12, currently held by Scott Belle, but Jeff Snavely and Chris Stewart. And to my eye, Chris Stewart is looking a little cleaner, a little faster than the two cars ahead of him. But, you know, it's just going to be really difficult. I think Chris is going to have to be patient here and, you know, try to see if maybe Jeff can get around Scott as they go past turn 2 here. And down this long front straight.
For P18, looks like Kyle Reed is poking his nose into J.R. Hoop's business.
Right ahead of the Stewart Snavely Bell battle, as Snavely did not get a good exit out of the corner. There's a Max DiGiacomo and Joshua Dancy battle going on as well.
That was a nice shot of Kyle Reed.
Dancy had just passed Max there and almost lost it. It was into turn 3, and then he went off into the grass just a little bit too much and had a little bit of a wiggle, but was able to save it. Stay in front of Max.
Yeah, that exit on turn 3, you can go on the grass with 2 wheels and avoid 1x off track instant point, but it's risky. If you can hold it, it's actually really fast, but it's also pretty slippery.
Isn't that amazing? Last week we had Coda where it was very touchy. You barely get off the track a little bit, it'll give you a 2x, and here you could bounce off the walls, it'll still give you 0x or nothing at all.
Your car is toast. You have to tow it to the pit. No penalty points.
No incident.
You're clear. You're clear.
That's exactly right.
Crashing is enough punishment.
Yes.
Chris Stewart passes Jeff Snavely, by the way. We're talking about Belle Stewart Snavely. And with all that battling going on, Rayner and Photos have kind of made contact, especially Rayner. But Chris able to go clear and trying now to chase down Scott Belle.
Kyle Reed moves up over Jeff Torbo. He's been moving up through the order very quickly. And now he's about 5 seconds away from Thomas Photos.
And Pete Mobrodin's really fallen off the back of Leo and Decker, trailing by just about 3.5 seconds now in 3rd place.
Well, it looked like Leo's found his stride now because he's starting to pull away ever so slightly from Jeffrey Decker. He's got over a second lead now.
Jeffrey's trying. Go ahead.
Real quick, this Howenick Bowers Bice battle almost got a little spicy there. Bowers trying to make the move on Howenick going into the last fountain complex there. Ended up having to back out. That got Bice right back up into the action there, and they sorted it out. But I think these three were not done seeing what battling they have left.
Now we're going to have a second pit stop for everybody as well, so that's something to be thinking about as we move to 26 and a half minutes being lapsed. 45-minute race. All we needed to do now is start raining.
On the wets.
Can you imagine? No, you wouldn't change tires in the Skippy. These are road tires anyway.
Chris, you mentioned Kyle Reed past Jeff Torbeck, but Jeff Torbeck is not letting him go.
Yeah, he's hanging in there.
He's really hanging in there. He might actually go for the pass here going down into turn 3. Nope, gonna back out.
Well, his
Hey.
problem is...
Oh, but who is that? Was that Girk and Demir? almost looked to the inside, or looked like he was trying to there. Ended up locking it up, though.
And I was just about to say, he needs to be careful that he's got other people catching up to his rear, and that's when things get hairy. You're so consumed with the person in front that you don't see what's going on behind you. You lose that situational awareness because you're trying to pass, and next thing you know, there could be somebody coming up behind you.
Did do well to keep it out of the wall, though.
Yes, they have a nice
Yes.
run-up area on that turn 3.
Like they were planning on it.
We've had a few incidents that I know.
Just a couple.
For the viewers who have never driven on these streets in the real Detroit Belle Isle or have never played with iRacing, it's hard to describe just how bumpy these roads are.
Oh my god.
It's
They're horrible.
Yeah, it's really teeth-chattering, and it's unique, especially we're coming from a Formula 1 track last week at the Circuit of the Americas, just smooth as glass, that track, to public roads here, which are mostly concrete.
Word. And Bice went to do Bowers went to do an inside move on Howanick going into turn 3, slowed down too much. Jason Bice squeezed by on the left-hand side, just barely making it. And Bice is now behind Howanick, and Bowers is back a little further.
Yeah, getting back to the roads. If you live in a big city like New York or Chicago, Detroit, you know exactly what we're talking about. Just in normal potholes. You don't really see them in the game, but they're there, and you feel them every step of the way.
It is true.
Yeah. And I think these big concrete pads also aren't really. There's probably frost heave in the winters, and so they don't really line up correctly, and so you just feel every seam between these concrete pads.
It's insane.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about in turn 7, where you're at the apex, and it's like all of a sudden the car is off the ground for just a split second, and you're not used to it. It's a little bit startling because you think you're going to go flying into the wall. Then all of a sudden you get grip.
Wanted to call attention to the battle now for P11. I had been watching Chris Stewart chase down Scott Belle, and he has, in fact, Scott's just gone into the pits. But Chris actually caught up to Scott Belle's draft, but then Scott was catching up to Max DiGiacomo's draft. And
Sorry, Jason's making a move into turn 3, trying to do what Mike Bowers tried to do. He's now got the inside going into turn 4. Can he keep it? Yes, he can. Unfortunately, he'll be on the outside going into turn 5, so he won't get that position this lap.
And while you were talking, Ian, Chris Stewart did manage to pass Max DiGiacomo, breaking into turn 3.
Woohoo!
So Chris is now running in P11.
We were talking about how hard it is to pass. There seems to be a lot of passing going on. A lot of action.
Yeah, there's only a
Doing
couple of
great.
places where you can do it, though, so you just got to try and get that launch. Going into turn, which is it? What's the first turn before the fountain complex?
6.
Turn 6. That's a good place to pass under braking. But you got to be careful you're not doing a lunge, which is hard.
Oh, are you talking about after the back straight?
Yeah.
And that would be turn 7 then.
Turn
Turn 6 is where you need the exit to get to that turn
Yeah.
7. Yes, that's the best place to pass if you can get a really good exit off of turn 6, and then you just draft right through to turn 7.
Yep. And I see the top
Leo
4.
Ostroff and Jeffrey Decker, Pete Mobrodin, Carl Drunke, all now in the pits.
Oh, and Bison Bowers are jumping in as well, which allows Howanick to now go and start picking up a couple of number 1 position points. You get a couple of points for running in first place.
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, I think you might have to go around the track and cross the start-finish line while in P1, but those bonus points are super important.
And I noticed Mike Bowers overshot his pick box and had to reverse back into it a little bit, so he's lost some time there.
Check
Guys,
out
maybe have a quick look at the
P5.
first position. Leo Octero of P5
Yeah.
and Jeffrey Decker. Actually, Jeffrey is getting really close and is taking the lead over here. Look at that, straight out of the pit.
He had a 1.4 second faster pit stop.
We got Red
Wow.
Bull people in there.
So that nullified the 1.5 second gap that Leo had built over the last fuel stint. And obviously it was just enough to get him out front.
Wow.
And they both pitted together, didn't they?
And there's your strategy happening. I guess Leo running in second for so long and so close to, sorry, Jeffrey running in second for so close and so long behind Leo allowed him to save some fuel, and so he needed less at his pit stop, maybe? Either that or he's going to run out of gas before the end of the race.
Well, I do have to say that last time this happened, it was the most exciting of the whole race. So let's have a quick look what they're doing. But currently, it's not even for position number 1. It's position number 5 that they're driving to. I see Aaron Lars going into the pit. So that means that we're gonna get a clearance.
We've still got Dancy, Philippe Jet, and Howanick up there. As Howanick runs another lap in first place.
Yep, and he will pick up that bonus point for leading a lap.
All right, let's have a quick look. Is Jeffrey gonna hold that? I don't think so. I think here's where Leo is going over. On that inside, that looks really close. Jeffrey holds it. Look at that.
Woo, baby. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, if you can do it. It's not a given, but get enough of a run off of that corner. You can hold that outside and force that guy to keep his turn radius really small, hold position, but it takes a lot of skill.
Whoa! Did he hit the wall or not? It doesn't seem to, but it sounded like it.
Yeah, some of these curbs, you do scrape the front wing. It doesn't often bend it, but it sounds awful.
Howanick is in pit road.
And so is Philippe. So Dancy is going to come, and Dancy's diving in as well, which puts Decker back into first place. Now let's see how long. Oh man, it's such a long pit road. Dancy's trundling along. Hasn't got to his pit box yet. Finally stops.
It does look like Leo's gotten a great run out of turn 2 here as they go down the long front straight, and is going to get a little draft pull and is going to get the favored inside line going into turn 3, and Jeffrey Decker is going to concede the position.
Well, we're down to 35 minutes, 35 and 3/4 minutes elapsed. 45 minutes to go, so just about four minutes left in the race. Which is what, about 3 and a bit laps?
Let's see, I'm showing 9 minutes left in the race.
The
Got 9
45er.
minutes? Okay. Yeah, sorry, my math. Ignore me.
You got to carry the one.
Yeah. And here's Decker. Decker's going to do a little move down the inside. Nope, he is staying back.
I have to say, the week-to-week battles between these two drivers, Leo Oftrov and Jeffrey Decker, it's pretty epic. I mean, there was the horrible misfortune that Leo had with an incident with the driver coming out of the pits. But that aside, these two drivers have just been so close to each other.
Let's see what's going to happen now as they come around the final corner of the lap and carry on now to go into turn 1 and see if we can get another pass going into turn 3.
Yeah, that right-hander, you want to sacrifice the speed a little bit so you can get a good run and jump out, which is exactly what it looks like Leo did. He's gotten a great launch out of that second turn.
Gap is falling down to 1.7, 1.7, 1. Oh, no, he's backing out of it. Leo's backing out of it. Not this lap.
We see a great fight here with Aaron La and Josh Dancy for position number 9. Look how close Aaron La is running it here.
And Bison and Howernick are still deep into the battle. Really close together right now.
Well, and while we're talking about that,
Oh, Dancy spun on that battle there.
the battle for P14, Max DiGiacomo and Jeff Snavely, I've been watching them, and they've been just exchanging positions every other lap or so. And Thomas Fotos has been right on their tail as well.
Yeah, he missed his breaking point. That's why he spun.
And Mark Rayner and Josh Dancy are now fairly close together, so let's see if Rayner can take advantage of that.
We also have a nice battle for P17. We got Jeff Torbeck, Kyle Reed, and JR Hoops right on top of each other.
Yeah.
Tyler Reed, your biggest mover of the evening at the moment, at least, up 13 spots.
What happened there? As Jeffrey Decker gets in front of Leo again, and Leo is going to not take that, going for the inside move, going down the front straight, and right into turn 3.
Looks like a replay of 2 laps ago.
Yeah. Except this time Decker backs out a bit more. Although he's got the outside line still. Leo squeezing.
Oh, really squeezing him. Holy cow.
It's like, yeah, no road for you today.
Wow. What a battle.
Carl Dronke is clawing his way up towards Pete McBroughton, but I don't know if he's going to have enough time as we click by 39.5 minutes elapsed.
Meanwhile, Jason Bice is still trying to find a way around Michael Howeneck in P5. Michael's holding up under the pressure, but it is relentless, the pressure that Jason's putting on Michael for P5.
They're both doing very, very similar lap times, 1:42.50 and 1:42.55 were the last laps they put in.
You have Max DiGiacomo, Jeff Snavely, and Thomas Fotos working very well together, and they're going to close in on Scott Bell before long if they continue to work well with each other.
Yeah, I wonder if the motors on Scott's motion rig are starting to
Overheat?
overheat.
They're steadily closing.
Yeah. That and all his fillings are falling out.
Jeffrey Decker back up at the front there for P1, looking to the inside now on Leo. So last lap, only in reverse.
Yeah.
Oh, Leo gets just a little bit loosey-goosey there.
And he is really losing now some momentum.
I'm sure, if we know Leo, he'll be back up there. But yeah, that's one of the bigger gaps we've seen in this battle in quite a while.
Well, with there's under 4 minutes remaining in the race, and so next time they cross the start-finish line, that will mean just 2 laps to go in this race.
Yeah. And I mean, this track is one of those tracks where you have to be full on concentration the entire race. I mean, it's relentless. It's absolutely relentless. And as I always say, you feel like a pinball in a pinball machine.
So, Ian and Chris, in our SF2 race, how many times did you touch a wall?
I was pushed into a wall.
Yeah, same.
So, does that count?
Yes. I just lightly kissed a wall on the exit of turn 2. But
I don't think I hit too many walls during the race when I was actually running properly, but yeah, I had a couple of people decide
I was
to.
just thinking, Ian, you didn't go for that. You went more for people, for drivers.
Yeah, people kept running into me. I don't know why.
You're a magnet, man. You're a magnet.
I'm going to change the color of the car. Red is obviously not the right color for that car.
Yeah,
Well,
this-
I have to admit, I was comforted to see you in the pits with that strange start.
Yeah, we're gonna have that's like, yeah, what? Oh my god. It's one of those things, we'll have to just move on from that one and mark it down to learning experience, right?
Best part is, guys, that you actually are gaining on the champion, because Jake Ashe is one of the leaders, and he wasn't there, so every point is.
Oh wait, sorry,
above
I'm
it.
to cut you off, Pip. Leo is doing an outside move going into turn 7.
This,
And Jeffrey, under braking, Jeffrey just pushes it forward and takes him out.
wow.
Oh my goodness me, that is a good
Oh,
piece
and
of driving there.
Philippe Jeté in turn 6 looks like has crashed and is now in the midst of a tow.
Oh no, that's sad. That's sad.
So they will. These leaders will definitely get the white flag this time around.
43-23.
Turn 6.
He clipped the inside, actually, just misjudged his turn. But yeah, watch Barney wave the
Yep,
white
as
flag
the
here.
white flag flies, last lap.
You see
Here we
Leo
go.
then sacrificing speed in turn 1. See if it works to give him better launch out of turn 2.
Yeah, but
Looks like
look-
it does.
And Jeffrey, I'm surprised. I would have thought Jeffrey would have taken a much more inside line to try and block Leo from this corner, but he didn't. He just let him do it.
Leo's much slower in turn 1, but that seems to help him in turn 2. Wow, they're side by side coming.
And
Dealing
Jeffrey's,
with-
yep, here we go. Going into the next turn, still side by side. Jeffrey's got a little advantage, but Leo's got the speed. Big right-hander now, so Leo's on the inside, so he's going to have the advantage. Jeffrey should be right behind him. Get behind him. Good Lord.
Jeffrey should have gotten a little better launch out of that turn, but they are
He did.
equal in speed.
Can you
He's
side draft into Skippy?
He is definitely side drafting him, and he's got a bit of overlap, and in fact, he's now in front. And Jeffrey's been very good at breaking into. And Leo's got him under braking.
Oh my god.
But
he
Jeffrey's
coming
still on
out?
the inside.
Still has
Still on the
position.
inside. Not quite now. Leo's now got him out with no overlap. But let's see what
Oh, but-
happens.
But as they come out of the
Oh!
fountain, Leo will have an advantage coming out of the fountain.
Yeah, but Jeffrey's right on his tail. Can Jeffrey make a pass between now and the line? I don't know.
These 2 turns are very fast. In
They
fact, the
are.
last
He's
2
just
turns
full
are very
throttle.
fast.
It's all full throttles. It's just about now if he can draft past him, and he can't take the outside line. It's too far. He's got. Oh, they touch! They
contact!
Jeffrey makes another right
What just happened there?
Oh
we got
my
other good
gosh.
racing going on here.
Oh my goodness me! What a finish! Jeffrey is sitting in his car, not moving, now driving to the pits. Oh my goodness!
Wow, I thought I saw everything in Formula 2, but this is the last corner, I think a meter before the finish line. I still don't know exactly what happened, but we see all the other guys come in. Kyle Reed, J.R. Hoops is now coming to the finish line over here. I see Jeff Thorback a little bit further back, Gurken de Meer trying to run it over here. Oh guys, we need to do a replay on this one.
Absolutely. Everybody's gonna want to see that ending.
All right, so let's have a quick look. They are going over there in that last corner. Jeffrey Decker going on the outside. It does look like, yeah. I'm not even sure.
He
don't
just
know.
got a little.
It does look to me like Leo held his line, but boy, it's close.
We get an angle of them following them.
Well, as we always say, that is something for the stewards.
It certainly
That's an
is.
interesting one. Let's have a quick look at the end results coming up here. Jeffrey Decker has been. These are, by the way, the unofficial race results. But Jeffrey
Very
Decker has been called out the winner by the system. Leo Octaro with 0.091 seconds he was behind backwards. So maybe that's for double points. Then we see Pete Broughton 5.2 seconds behind there. Carl Dronke, Jason Bice, 5th position. Great work from him. Michael Hounik, Aaron La. Guys, this is this was amazing.
This was probably the best race for the Formula One crew that I've seen. It's a fantastic race. A lot of passing, a lot of unexpected passing, which was really, really nice.
Wow. That is so that is so crazy, that ending.
Yeah, I'm not not many times speechless, but yeah, wow.
Can you imagine if, what was it, Yas Marina ended that way with one of the cars facing out?
That would have been cool. It
I
looks
thought it
to
was
me,
controversial before.
Hey, there you go, eh? So I'm watching the replay here of Leo and Jeffrey, and as they go into that final little right-hand kink, Jeffrey is just drifting a little bit over towards Leo's car, and if you look in the cockpit, you can see him steering a little bit over there. And Leo, I think, let me just jump into his car, is steering a little bit towards the outside of the corner, allowing the car to just naturally drift back to the left, and Jeffrey's right tire and Leo's right front and Leo's back left touch.
Well, we now have Jeffrey Decker and Leo Ovtcharov in the broadcast booth, and I have no idea where to start, but let me hand it off to Chris Smorrell, maybe to interview these two drivers.
Yeah, we just saw probably some of the finest racing in Skippy Formula One, or at least in recent memory. I mean, holy cow, what a show by both of you guys. And I guess we'll let Jeffrey go first. It's scoring you as the winner, so we'll give you first dibs. Talk us through the whole race, but really, I mean, that last lap was just incredible. We're getting a lot of comments here, just in awe of how you guys were side by side and fast while doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I got lucky to get pole. Leo's always a little bit faster than me on those laps, so yeah, somehow pulled that out and was able to stay in front for a couple laps. But I knew Leo was going to get me, and the idea was just, per usual, like try to sit behind him and see who we can detach from. And it ended up being a trio for, I think, until the first pit stop. But I went the extra lap, and I think that was probably a mistake because I had to take more fuel to like fill up completely. But then obviously it came back around the second stint. But I was a little worried that I wouldn't quite get back up. But yeah, side by side on pit exit. The second time this season, right? So pretty wild there. And then just great battling with Leo as always. I tried to brake before the line because I knew I was behind Leo when we made contact to try to get it to him, but locking him up just didn't quite do it. So we'll see. We'll head it to the stewards, and obviously I won't look at it, but either way, it was a fantastic race. And if Leo ultimately gets the win for it, I think well deserved. I can't be too upset about that.
Agreed. It was a lot of fun.
Leo and Jeffrey both. What were your thoughts with 2 laps to go? Because it looked like a little bit of chess going on. You guys were sort of swapping positions every other lap. Were there particular thoughts about you wanted to be in the lead or didn't want to be in the lead coming into that last lap?
I had the intention of wanting to be in the lead as I think I might have been able to just eke by even if we went side by side in the last out of the last corner, but it didn't end up working that way. Instead, we had just, a super fun fight, going too wide in places where you really shouldn't go too wide. So hopefully that was entertaining as well.
Well, I thought you two did the impossible, which was to go full speed through the S's at Circuit of the Americas side by side. I'm pretty sure that's not even legal to do that, and you guys did it. And now to go through that turn 3, 4, 5 complex that way is even crazier.
Yeah, I mean, at least for me, I just have like immense respect for Leo because he's one of the very few people I feel comfortable being able to do this side-by-side stuff with. And obviously we get to show you guys that sometimes, but it's always really, really fun when we get to do it.
Yup. Super fun.
Aren't you guys supposed to hate each other? Isn't this supposed to be like a Max Lewis kind of thing now?
See, the thing is, when you can race someone like that and make it around the lap, it's pretty hard to hate the guy. Plus, he's just a super nice guy in general. I mean, come on.
So, guys, this is clearly to see that Jeffrey Decker is the Hamilton in this case, and Leo is our Max. It was an exciting race. It was an amazing. I think it was the best lap for at least maybe the last 2 seasons. This lap there was everything in there, and then it goes out with a boom. I think it deserved it. You guys did an amazing job, Jeffrey. I know how much you like to race like this, but Leo, you were just again amazing. I hope you have better luck in the next races, because we do see you now having hit a couple of things. But I love you, and I love your racing.
Oh, I love you too, buddy. Thank you.
It's great.
Seriously, you guys are giving the best possible racing shows week after week. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, cheers, guys. It's a lot of fun to do it.
We aim to please.
So Jeffrey, how's the dog doing?
He's good. I could hear him outside the door now. Around the beginning of qualifying, I could hear him playing a lot in the hallway. Wifey was giving him some run-ums, so I think he's ready. Yeah, he's tickling the doorknob right now.
All right. So yeah, I was thinking about that. So let's do the final round of shout-outs. Do you have anybody particular that you want to choose for this round?
Always the wifey, always the pup. You guys for doing the broadcast and anyone watching, and then just always a shout-out to Leo. Like I said, he was ahead when we made contact. It was so close. I think win probably should go his way. So, like I said, regardless, I'm happy to take a P2. It was super, super fun to race him.
Definitely. Well, Leo, do you have any last words?
Well, I have one question for Leo. In that first lap, I forgot who it was that took P2. Were you worried that you were going to lose too much ground to Jeffrey in the beginning there, or
that was Mr. Pete Broughton. Shout out to Pete.
Yeah.
Two-time champion Pete Broughton.
That's right. Gotta get it right. He I think did the right choice because being in second place going into turn 3, you have the draft, and I chose to just stick behind Jeffrey for the first lap or so. If we made it out alive, assuming. So Pete saw me slow down to obviously keep in draft with Jeffrey, and so he took the initiative and just dove on the inside, which I think was a very smart idea on his half. But I think there was just like maybe some mistakes that might have happened, and I was able to capitalize it and was able to get by him cleanly, and then the rest was what it was.
Well, amazing work once more. Leo, any last shout-outs for you?
Everybody in Shake and Bake, of course. To Jeffrey, my bud, always a pleasure. To you guys in the booth, thank you for the broadcasts and everything like that. And yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Well, also a special thanks to Christopher Guzzi and Matt Zepka for joining us here in the booth. It was a bit tight, but I think we made it work, and I'm very happy to have you guys one more time up here. So great to see you all. Peter, thanks very much. We had a busy day this week, today. Always nice to do that on a Sunday. Thanks everybody for watching. It was a great race, and we will see each other in our next race.
Later,
Cheers,
everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.